Welcome to the show. I'm Kathy Ireland. Identity theft is an expensive problem that affects millions. Fortunately, it's possible to protect your personal and financial data to stay one step ahead of identity thieves. Scott Herman, co-owner and CEO of IdentityIQ and its flagship IdentityIQ brand, is here today to talk about how we can protect ourselves from identity theft. Welcome, Scott.
Kathy, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now, Scott, how big of a problem is identity theft?
So unfortunately, it's a really big problem. So last year alone, there was 14.5 million people who reported being a victim of identity theft. And it's been like that year over year. For the past 10 years, 14, 15, 16 million people reported. And those are the ones that report it. So I'm sure there's countless millions more who haven't. And to make matters worse, about 1 million of those are children.
Well, what are some of the consequences of having your identity stolen?
Yeah, so when you have identity stolen, there's really three things that happen. Most identity theft is financially related. So the thieves want to gain something financially. So they're either going to steal the money in your accounts or open up new accounts in order to be able to use credit cards or get a new car loan or a home equity line of credit on your house. So when you become a victim of identity theft, most people don't find out that they're a victim for years after it's already happened. And at that point in time, the thieves racked up so much money, it's going to take you 1.5 to 2 years to clean it up and cost you thousands of dollars of out-of-pocket expenses to fix it.
Wow.
IdentityIQ Services has improved my life by the fact that I've already been a victim of identity theft once, and I never want to experience it again. IdentityIQ Services provides $1 million theft insurance, which will reimburse me on everything from stolen funds, legal bills, even lost wages, all provided under AIG insurance. And the best part is I will get expert assistance on identity theft restoration if it ever happened again.
Well, in this day and age, with the amount of data breaches and leaks going on, you need to have the ability to be able to monitor your credit and identity information. IdentityIQ offers all that and gives me the protection and ease of mind that I need.
Scott, can you tell us a bit about IdentityIQ, what it is and how does it work?
Sure. So with IdentityIQ, we work really on three things, and I like to call it know, watch, and plan. So the first thing is to kind of know about identity theft and how to protect yourself. So it's education. Things like make sure you change your passwords frequently and make sure you don't use the same username and passwords at all different sites. A lot of the sites, they're not as secure as, say, your bank, because there's no personal information they're keeping. So hackers can get into those sites, and then they'll just assume you're using the same username and password at all the places. And then they'll just go to the different banking sites and credit card sites and just try username and password. And of course, they'll eventually get a couple of hits if you do that. So that's definitely one thing to watch out for. And then the next thing that we do is we give people a current look at their data. So current copy of their 3-bureau credit report, a look at their dark web history, so stuff that is out there on the internet being used, criminal background check, personal background check, to make sure that they're clean right now and that no one's stolen their identity currently. And then we're going to monitor them continuously. So we monitor all 3 credit bureaus, dark web monitoring, application monitoring, and then if they see anything suspicious, we can alert them and they can say, hey, that was me or that wasn't me. And if it wasn't them, then it comes time for restoration. So we do a full restoration service for customers, as well as have insurance, so if they do have any out-of-pocket expenses, we can reimburse them.
We would recommend IdentityIQ to other business partners for different reasons. One is their vast knowledge in the industry. Number 2 is their customer service is excellent, which is a big core value at Countrywide. We need to service the client, and they understand that, and they do that here as well, which is really, really important. When somebody has a credit issue, they're dealing with a problem, they need results immediately. Also, their price points are really, really important and very, very reasonable. We're also in a RFP situation a lot of times with competing with other competitors. They work with us in different situations with adding value to the benefits, price structure, and that's really important for us to win the bid. And if they win, we all win.
So we use IdentityIQ in order to help track clients' credit health throughout our client engagement. So as an example, let's say we have a client that had a life event, maybe they're in a traumatic accident, and not only were they impacted physically and financially, but often their credit is destroyed. And so really we come in as a credit expert in order to, within my service, help stabilize and improve the credit, but we utilize IdentityIQ to track the progress throughout the engagement.
IdentityIQ Services has improved my life by putting me in charge of my financial and personal information. If you're not monitoring your credit, you're not in control.
Scott, how does IdentityIQ help when someone realizes that they've been a victim of identity theft?
Yeah, so we do have obviously customers who have become victims, and when they call us and tell us what goes on, we do a full case assessment. So we have a dedicated case manager that handles that, and it's a full interview. So kind of what happened in this particular case. Sometimes it's a lost wallet, or sometimes it's a new account that's been opened. So we go through that. It's full white glove restoration, whether it's IRS was involved, medical is involved, we have Medicare and Medicaid fraud that comes up, or just a new account open. So, and the personalizations that we do, it's are you married? Do you have kids? And if so, then that's a different thing. We might need to monitor the kids or the spouse. If you have a house, you might want to check the deed on the house to see how that's looking.
Scott, who is IdentityIQ designed for?
I really think that IdentityIQ is designed for really everybody, because I think everyone is at risk of identity theft. But some of the people that are more at risk, I mentioned children earlier. So I really encourage families with children to get the service and help monitor children. And then unfortunately, elderly folks are more at risk. People that don't look at their credit reports very often are more at risk, because the thieves know that they get a hold of someone and they get their data, they're not going to notice or catch it quickly. And then one thing that was very special to us at IdentityIQ is we have a lot of military veterans that work for our company. And active duty military are about twice as likely to be affected with identity theft.
So as the owner of B Squared Credit, I've been so blessed to be able to take my predictive analytic experience as well as my banking experience to be able to help credit challenge clients recover from a major life event, both to be able to improve and maintain great credit. And I utilize IdentityIQ for these engagements in order to monitor their credit scores and credit reports throughout our client engagement.
As far as technologies that are more relevant with identity theft today, one thing you see a lot of is dark web scanning. This is a critical component of your identity theft protection. What many services offer are essentially bots and scrapers that go around to known chat rooms and pull data down. I think that's an important part of the solution. We also take it a step further. We employ ex-law enforcement officers who will go and infiltrate chat rooms and pretend to be fraudsters, collect information, become part of the community, and they can move around as the fraudsters move their locations and try to hide.
What I love about IdentityIQ services is their alerts. I continue to get alerts about my identity theft as well as any credit issues. This is something that I enjoy because it gives me peace of mind every single day knowing that it's being worked on and monitored. Something else that they do that I really enjoy is they do dark web monitoring. So that's something I'm not familiar with, but that I know that I have someone on my team doing that monitoring in the background on a day-to-day basis.
Scott, what do you find most meaningful and rewarding about this work?
I think for me, it's just knowing that we've had about 1 million customers sign up for our service. And so we provide great peace of mind for them, knowing that they're protected and being monitored, but also knowing that if they do have something happen, that they have someone in their corner to help them through the identity theft incident. And if they have out-of-pocket expenses, they'll be reimbursed for those, whether it's lost wages or legal fees, or actually money stolen from their accounts.
Scott, what do you hope people will take away from our conversation today?
I think the biggest thing is just to take away how big of a problem identity theft is, and that I think everyone needs to be protected. You have insurance on your house and your car, but your identity's at risk, and it's much more likely to be stolen than your house is to be burned down. So I think what I'd like people to take away is just to be aware and help get educated. And I'd like to help. If people would like to go to our website, it's www.identityiq.com. And if you go to /Kathy Ireland, we're going to give 25% off, to all the viewers. And thank you for letting me do that.
Well, thank you. And Scott, thank you for sharing how IDIQ and the IdentityIQ brand are making it easier than ever for people to monitor their credit scores and to stop identity theft in its tracks. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. I'm Kathy Ireland.